Within the same age limits, the number of true nymphets is strikingly inferior to that of provisionally plain or just nice or cute or even sweet and attractive, ordinary, plumpish, formless, cold-skinned, essentially human little girls with tummies and pigtails who may or may not turn into adults of great beauty. Look at the ugly dumplings in black stockings and white hats that are metamorphosed into stunning stars of the screen. A normal man, given a group photograph of schoolgirls or Girl Scouts and asked to point out the comeliest one, will not necessarily choose the nymphette among them. You have to be an artist and a madman, a creature of infinite melancholy, with a bubble of hot poison in your loins, and a super voluptuous flame permanently aglow in your subtle spine. Oh, how you have to cringe and hide, in order to discern at once, by ineffable signs, the slightly feline outline of a cheekbone, the slenderness of a downy limb, and other indices which despair and shame and tears of tenderness forbid me to tabulate. The little deadly demon among the wholesome children. She stands, unrecognized by them, and unconscious herself of her fantastic power. Furthermore, since the idea of time plays such a magic part in the matter, the student should not be surprised to learn that there must be a gap of several years, never less than 10, I should say, generally 30 or 40, and as many as 90 in a few known cases, between maiden and man, to enable the latter to come under the nymphette's spell. It's a question of focal adjustment, of a certain distance that the inner eye thrills to surmount, and a certain contrast that the mind perceives with a gasp of perverse delight. When I was a child and she was a child, my little Annabel was no nymphette to me. I was her equal, a faunlet in my own right, on that same enchanted island of time. But today, in September 1952, after 29 years have elapsed, I think I can distinguish in her the initial fateful elf in my life. We loved each other with a premature love, marked by a fierceness that so often destroys adult lives. I was a strong lad and survived, but the poison was in the wound, and the wound remained ever open. And soon I found myself maturing amid a civilization which allows a man of 25 to court a girl of 16, but not a girl of 12. No wonder, then, that my adult life during the European period of my existence proved monstrously twofold. Overtly, I had so-called normal relationships with a number of terrestrial women having pumpkins or pears for breasts. Inly, I was consumed by a hell furnace of localized lust for every passing nymphette, whom as a law-abiding poltroon I never dared approach. The human females I was allowed to wield were but palliative agents. I'm ready to believe that the sensations I derived from natural fornication were much the same as those known to normal big males consorting with their normal big mates in that routine rhythm which shakes the world. The trouble was that those gentlemen had not, and I had, caught glimpses of an incomparably more poignant bliss. The dimmest of my polluted dreams was 1,000 times more dazzling than all the adultery the most virile writer of genius or the most talented impotent might imagine. My world was split. I was aware of not one, but 2 sexes, neither of which was mine. Both would be termed female by the anatomist. But to me, through the prism of my senses, they were as different as mist and mast. All this I rationalize now. In my 20s and early 30s, I didn't understand my throes quite so clearly. While my body knew what it craved for, my mind rejected my body's every plea. One moment I was ashamed and frightened, another recklessly optimistic. Taboos strangulated me. Psychoanalysts wooed me with pseudo-liberations of pseudo-libidos. The fact that to me the only objects of amorous tremor were sisters of Annabel's, her handmaids and girl pages, appeared to me at times as a forerunner of insanity. At other times I would tell myself that it was all a question of attitude, that there was really nothing wrong in being moved to distraction by girl children. Let me remind my listener that in England, with the passage of the Children and Young Person Act in 1933, the term girl child is defined as a girl who is over 8 but under 14 years. After that, from 14 to 17, the statutory definition is young person. In Massachusetts, USA, on the other hand, a wayward child is technically one between 7 and 17 years of age, who moreover habitually associates with vicious or immoral persons. Hugh Broughton, a writer of controversy in the reign of James I, has proved that Rahab was a harlot at 10 years of age. This is all very interesting, and I dare say you see me already frothing at the mouth in a fit. But no, I am not. I'm just winking happy thoughts into a little tittle cup. Here are some more pictures. Here is Virgil, who could the nymphette sing in single tone, but probably preferred a lad's perineum. Here are two of King Akhenaten and Queen Nefertiti's pre-nubile Nile daughters. That royal couple had a litter of 6, wearing nothing but many necklaces of bright beads, relaxed on cushions, intact after 3,000 years, with their soft brown puppy bodies, cropped hair, and long ebony eyes. Here are some brides of 10, compelled to seat themselves on the fascinum, the virile ivory, in the temples of classical scholarship. Marriage and cohabitation before the age of puberty are still not uncommon in certain East Indian provinces.